The writer though? Hello, how are you, friend? Good, it was so great to see you. We go. Yeah.
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 So, yeah, you may, and what is the deal, or we will do, is we'll put you on
We will
the
see.
wait list, and then when you don't show up. you just This story is all about.
Yeah. It's just, it's great. He just people that I can agree. I don't know. Natural people. Oh.
Yeah, there's all sorts, there's a huge selection of.
This is how we roll.
There's glasses and. Glasses, things people think of wine that you probably have. Chili, perfect. I don't think, you're the other one. So we're leaving again. So we should probably go ahead and get started, in the appreciation of everyone's time. So let's call the meeting to order, 6:08. Pretty sure I put the recording on. And.
Second.
You got it. So the first order of business is to consider the minutes from the last meeting, which Abdo has seconded, and somebody want to move that we approve those minutes. Thank you. Were there any corrections or comments on the minutes? No. All right. Motion to approve, or do we all approve?
Yeah. The first new business, new council members. I think since we have not a huge agenda, we should maybe do an introduction. And the only thing I wanted to just start with is that we both approved the selection meeting right before this. So we are now officially council members. Yay! And that's, I have put it on the agenda that wasn't official, but we're officially. I think you're gonna get an email about getting sworn in, which is like, I know. No, it's weird, they just started doing like, they do for some and not for others.
Yes.
I want my full regalia. May or may not. They sent that email to my new EDC member. And I was like, really? I don't think anyone else was sworn in. So, I don't know, maybe they're reviving a tradition, I'm not sure. And so if you may get that email.
What I think what you have to do is go to the clerk and say you wish to be sworn in.
Well, not if it's not required.
Yeah, no, they'll send an invitation if they want you to. And then you set up a time. Yeah, I don't know how, I wanted to give you a heads up, it may or may not happen. But maybe before we, get started, we should all introduce ourselves and
I think you guys know me, but I'm Victoria Rowan. I have a company called My Basement. I coach great professionals. I have the Ideas Depot, which is still incubating, but it's happening. It's free. I
produce events in New York and up here, and I consult to individuals and institutions.
That's in your chair,
Oh, excuse me, and
very important.
and it's been a great honor and a great pleasure to do so. And it's been like a really enriching experience. Of, I've been in the area for next year, at least a few years, but I now finally really feel like I am of the area, and it's an awesome opportunity. I'm so glad you.
Me, okay. I will be brief this time, because last time you all indulged me with full background. So, my name is Lucy Hunter. I work with the development until today. I am a Washington resident. I have worked in and around the arts for my professional life, most recently as an ED at an art foundation in New York that specialized in Latin American art. And now I'm doing some foundation work in a few different consulting capacities. And I'm really happy to be here. So, hey.
I'm Tracy, Miller.
Did you follow up on any subjects?
I live within up on the gun campus, work at Billy Your Thunder, director of theater arts at the Federal School. I'm a theater maker, actor, director, producer, educator, full-time educator at the University of Rhode Island. And we run the Connecticut Theater Exchange, which takes place on Federal School for 2 weeks as a residency for incubation of new work. And we also started a couple of irons in the fire. We have this reading series that we have partnership with Judy Black. Kent and I both freelance and serve in the community at various capacities. We're really happy to be part of Washington.
Exactly. So,
Ditto.
yeah, I'm Ken Bertleman, just as Tracy said, and Victoria too. I really enjoy being on this council and being part of this. I think it's really great and getting to know everybody and championing the work that's going on in the area. So it's really fun.
Hi, I'm Michelle Cora, and I'm the Economic and Community Development Coordinator for the town. The Arts Council is a subcommittee of the Economic Development Committee, and I'm actually not a member on staff, and I facilitate the conversation. We also do a lot of the legwork behind the events, submitting invoices and all that.
Get your own tent. Get your own tent.
I do, and I wrote a show like that. So, and I also facilitate the EDC, but also the Housing Commission and Sustainability Committee. So a lot of hats, but there's a lot of overlap in a lot of all of the work that I do, and I love the synergy that happens between all of these commissions. And I just, I love what the Arts Council has done so far, and really see the tie-in. Arts is big business here for Washington in our little town. Education is our number one employer / industry, but the arts are really growing. So whatever we can do as a council to support, to promote, to enrich, I think is great for our community. So,
And we're her funnest committee.
definitely the most fun.
A long time resident, I can say, I'm up here in 1982, and I finally feel like not a newbie. It takes a while. But anyway, I love being part of this committee. I've been a real estate broker for 40 years. I know where all the bodies are buried. And it's just, thrilling to see what's happening and that we're part of it. I'm also a poet
Jackie,
And a painter,
yes,
and a champion of Shakespeare.
yes, yes, all of the above. And, you know, the vibrancy of a small town is its volunteers. And I think we can celebrate ourselves in saying that, you know, that we have stepped up to be part of the fabric of the community. And without the volunteers, there wouldn't be anything like what we have. So anyway, lovely for all of us.
Joe?
Nice. You remember when we met?
I do indeed, I remember.
25 years ago.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
I'll tell you more about it. Although I understand, I can't, the Mojito King. So I became a Mojito King after 30 years working on human rights, most of the time in Geneva, which is where the Human Rights Office of the UN sits. And specifically working on the creation of an international criminal court that tries individuals, not the state. The previous court, the World Court, the head, dealt with disputes between the states. And it was impossible to sue the state. They would not appear at the court, they said no. So that the concept came out of the Nuremberg trial. Because when the Nazis were accused, they always say that they have superior order. And the judgment at Nuremberg was, you have a conscience. If you commit a crime, you're guilty. Out of that, after the Nuremberg trial, the UN was given a mandate to work on implementations to create a permanent international criminal court called the ICC. And that's where I started. Till the end, I was in Rome for the Rome Convention, where it was signed in the majority of the world. Signed the protocol. People who did not sign was the United States, Israel, and Guatemala. So they still haven't signed the protocol. So they're not part of it. As you heard recently, the ICC has accused Netanyahu of war crimes. So he basically cannot go to another country that is part of the ICC because he will be arrested. That's why he can come here to the United States because he's a body of you know who. That was my work. And that was my legacy. I raised two beautiful boys. One of them is Damien Wetzel, the president of Juilliard. Prior to that, he was the star of New York City. And that's what brought me to New England. Because I was living in Santa Barbara. But I wanted to see Damien there because I took him to the ballet in Boston, to the Boston School of Ballet when he was 4 years old. And, you know, you never know what is going to happen, but we exposed him, and all the teachers said, oh my God, he's an animal. Wow. So, then he got accepted to the famous School of American Ballet at Lincoln Center. And when he graduated, usually when you graduate, they say, good luck, goodbye, wish you all the best. Or they say, you are joining the company. Before he graduated, they told him, you're not going anywhere. You're joining New York City. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to see him down. I left Santa Barbara. The weather was amazing.
Yeah.
And now everybody's going there. You know, so I'm glad. So, this is, something that I, as a result of being born in Cuba and having gone through dictatorship, because I was 15 the last time I left Cuba. So I had already, back in 59, the castle had taken over. So I was experiencing the lack of freedom and all that. So when from the suffering of my family, I decided I'm going to work, dedicate my life to something, even if it's just a grain in the defense of human rights. And that's my story.
Cool. Yeah, that's it. All right.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I raised a movie to do that.
I know, right? It really is our movies are new.
And this is why we post popular groups at every single.
And
That's how the Harvard Festival.
You're like, I know you are.
Yeah, you know, I have to say, you are 20. I serve on the Washington Economic Development Council and am also part of the board of the Washington Business Association. Love this community, love what it does, and happy to know all of you and be on this board.
So I'm sorry, Rachel, I know everybody here. I'm very familiar. So, I wear too many hats. My mother always said that I should not. I keep doing it. So I'm here, wearing the hat of the Institute for American Indian Studies. So I'm on the board of the Institute, and, you may all have gotten a flyer.
Yes, very nice.
We're gonna have a 50th anniversary event in August with Lawless and, it's gonna be with what? Pilates.
Oh, wonderful.
I know.
Yeah.
Date, what is August?
Sorry?
Do you know what date again?
August 15th. So save the date. It's gonna be flash, it's gonna be a pumpkin figure. One of the things that has always impressed me is the generosity and, this, and it's coming true for us. The other thing, that we're doing, that's arts related is, there was an invitational exhibit at the Florence Regional Museum of Native American Connecticut artists. It was sort of seasonal, it was last winter, but the artists are going to come to the Institute, and we're going to have a revisiting of that exhibit. I'm not exactly sure when it's opening, but it'll be, Connecticut Native American artists. So, yeah, so, and I'm really excited to be a part of this group. I went to Liquor Rise in 1968 as a callow that I did as a young girl. And I feel like those years were the golden age when it's all about marriage. And, I became acquainted with Washington and I fell in love with it. And that experience is why I went to work at the museum for the years that I did and why I'm back here living. So, yeah, I'm glad to be here.
She's a wonderful artist, and she also heads up the board of the Rain Studio, so. Very much
I
also.
can't say too many hats, but
And if you haven't seen them, just for those of you who are new to the area, you really should go online and look at the Gun Museum lecture series. Sarah did two that are excellent. One is about the history of the Washington Art Association, and it really extends to like the visual arts community in the area, and also theater in the Northwest.
in Washington.
Yeah.
In Washington and Preston.
Yeah, and they both are just great, especially these guys, like terms of what's happened here. Very excellent.
Yeah, there was a lot of theater, and there was a lot of minstrel shows newsletter has all the programs on it. So many.
Even a monkey.
Sorry?
I said there was even a monkey in one.
Yeah, yeah. That was not in front of the gun shop.
No.
That was in John Lee.
Not back, I bet you bring,
Oh,
the students would be excited.
That's it.
the monkey. Monkey doesn't know.
Yeah. Very good thought. Look at that.
Oh, and so if you haven't already, when you wrote your letters, I didn't see them, did you submit a little bio? Would you like to add them to our website?
okay.
Like a little one part about, you can look on the website and see. Upper left-hand corner, it says the bios of all the counselors. And I'll put it into, the monthly, whatever, commission meetings and council updates, and people really read them.
Mhm.
So, and I think that people are pretty glad to know that you're.
Good. Oh, excellent. All right, thank you, everyone, for sharing. I guess for new business, we'll just carry forward. The next event on our calendar that is us is the block party for June 20th. And several meetings ago, we had spoken about having the staff at Wildwood, do some kind of interactive dance, line dance, something, because the dancers are on the road, so they aren't going to be participating. And it was Kirsten's idea, but we hadn't seen this for the last 2 weeks, so I guess. Yeah.
But I really like that idea, and I don't care if it's leading a line dance or, I've also seen choreographers do this really cool crowd first choreography, and that's also super fun, so I don't know what they're like to do. But one thing that I personally feel strong about, and I feel like I speak for everybody in the council, is that we don't want to be like, we want to really make the art fall as our tagline, our slogan, and we want what we offer at these, town festivals to really engage people, rather than just be like passively see something cool happen. So whenever we can, we have somebody teaching something or letting, like last year at the block party, before the deluge, we had.
massive range.
Okay. Although there was a really sweet woman at Palawas moving their tent like a little caterpillar underneath us. But before all of that, we had, Ali,
Alibaba R1, yeah.
he was the master calligrapher, and he was teaching people how to do their names, and had also art from his students, and it was really special. It was great, and there were a lot of people, multi-generational people interested in it, and we also did something else. We had
We tried to have the loudest flute player
Oh,
or something
right.
from the.
We tried, it didn't work out.
But like they never found it. I don't know really what happened.
Just a flute player.
I didn't coordinate. That was Chris was working with us at that point. And I don't know, we tried.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened. I think there was only communication. But
I went to the fundraising for the institute, and there was a flute player there.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh my God, how beautiful.
Yeah,
He played all the different
Yeah.
Indian flutes.
yeah, yeah, he's really good. You might want to. That might be.
And we have a budget for that.
Oh, okay.
So just, so you all know, and actually, we're in the next budget process. And our request has survived through the Board of Selectmen, was presented to the Board of Finance. They will be voting on the 21st to move it to, a hearing, but there were no questions or pushback on any of the commission budget. We didn't ask for
Our third
any.
year, just so you get backstory, our first year, we were granted $30,000. We went for a 100% increase, and we got $7,000 or $7,500.
I think it's 7,000.
Okay, and so we're holding at that, because we're plotting to get ambitious.
there are 3 town-wide events, and we budgeted $1,000 for each of them to hire artists, and materials. And then after that, the rest of the money was promoting our events.
And Restaurant Week.
Restaurant Week, which we'll talk about, so other things that we do. So we do have a budget of $7,000, which is great, and we have not spent the full 1,000 on each of our events yet.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, right, nothing that we did, you know, we did the flashlights for Holiday in the Depot, but we didn't spend the full 1,000. And,
Karen's selling houses right now.
I know. she's
Selling
selling
houses.
I gotta go.
okay, I wanted to verify, Shakespearean is not happening.
Correct.
It is still on the our calendar, so I will
Yes.
tell them to take it off.
No.
No.
Because you need to do another event. We're getting close to deciding.
Okay, keep me posted, I'm working on the summer postcard, which will go to press in
When is it?
beginning of May.
Okay, well, we're gonna have.
Mid-May.
Okay, I can get.
Good.
And also,
Okay.
we'll talk, but I don't have the information for the experience that's going on in my space during,
Oh, you mean after the,
Yeah.
give local?
yeah,
Yeah, well,
concurrent to it, yeah.
yeah, we're all bringing stuff for the trees.
Okay, good.
Charge them a lot.
Right.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
What we gotta do? Good, I know, it's a rolling chair.
No, I
Got it?
I
Sorry.
fell, that you, nails go on, and ended up with serious sciatica for a year.
Oh, no. I will make sure I'll put you in a stationary chair
I
next
know.
time.
Not your friend.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. So on that note, since we're talking about block parties, well, we'll have to check in with Kirsten, but we have money that we can put towards the event, like if they want to rent an AV system, for example, like some, music, although they probably have that, or if there's some other way to augment the thing that they're doing, we can have a budget for it. So we can talk to them, see if there's anything that they might need, or, do we consider renting a larger tent? I mean, it's rain or shine, so that we can dance underneath it, even if the wet, not a little pop-up that's gonna blow away like the last one, but like a serious tent, I don't know how much that is, but, when that's.
That one that you got from the church,
The double one?
By time we loaned us, I mean, we just had sandbags, that may be enough.
True, and it's hard to, well, yeah, sandbags in the parking lot would work, because it's not safe. Yeah, that one is 10 by 20, it's like a double, so it's not bad, but it's just something to think about. If there's a way to sort of have more impact and make sure that the event moves forward.
Let me know, I'll get my friends to decorate it too.
Friends that they're decorating are amazing out there, they absolutely are. Yeah, so May, our May meeting, we'll just have to do some emailing with Kirsten and some behind the scenes work so that at our next meeting, we can have a plan just so we can approve.
And by that meeting too, we will have to have everybody's summer events.
Yes.
Okay, I was just gonna ask that with the deadline.
Yeah, so I didn't put the summer postcard on here, but since we're talking about it. I'll grab it.
Yeah.
There's probably a pile, on the bottom of the shelf down there, I think there's a pile of them from last year. You see them?
Although you're as far away from the tree as
So-
possible, do you want some?
Oh, no, thank you, okay. Summer is coming.
So the summer postcard. I was just talking to Julia at Sager Max, who does the layout. They've already gotten started. And I have been slowly going through and contacting all of the organizations that were on the postcard last year and checking the Explore calendar to just see if, and I was gonna actually ask you, Sarah, to know if the fundraiser, the August 14th, is it on the Explore calendar?
I do not know.
I'll double check, 'cause normally I would do that on the spot, but my computer's up there,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
One of our goals as the Arts Council is to really drive everyone to that Explore calendar so that, everybody can see at a glance what's going on and hoping that people check it before they plan something. So there's.
And reserve dates.
The reserve dates, yes, and if you look, there are dates.
Yeah, I want to get that extended.
And one thing I think has been super successful about this is, like, for instance, Northwest Connecticut Arts Council just started doing events last year. Now they're like kicking off the season this year. They're gonna be, the last Saturday of April. And are they doing, like arts?
Well, the MC right here.
Right.
Oh, are they gonna do that? Going to just kind of treat it like a flower?
Kelly shut it down now.
Celebrity MC.
That's right. No, it's 26, right? Yeah.
Right, but like last year, remember, they didn't have my tickets for.
They did, for our
Well, that's-
council members.
that's-
I'm out of town, so I can.
Sunday.
I mean, it's not that expensive, anyway, but it's really, like, one of my favorite parties last year. I highly recommend everybody go.
It was
And it's gonna be great. I love this space here. I think we have one of the best town halls ever, and so it's gonna be taking place there.
Yeah, so in their mailer, they just said Arts Connected is not a full, I had a full flyer get emailed to me and I didn't print it, sorry.
But what I'm getting at the point is that the Explorer is succeeding and making people realize that, like, oh, you don't want too many things in June or July or August, and now I love that it's going basically from April to October.
Yeah.
Which is better for everybody, less party fatigue, you know, it's just better for everyone. So that's something really great. And then also, just so you know, like, we are part of town. Every year there's somebody who says, like, why are we spending so much money on Explore Washington? I believe, as a former media person, like, this, in the absence of really great local papers and calendars, it's super, super important to all the arts-related industries here and the artists who are behind them. And so, the more traffic we drive, the more we prove to town this is a worthwhile investment for the naysayers who do show up in person, as you may know, to, budget hearings, that this is really valuable, it's serving a purpose, and people appreciate it. So, it's useful and it's effective, so.
Yeah.
So when you hold those events in by?
So for the summer postcard, our goal, it starts with Memorial Day. And so we like to be in the mailboxes the week before Memorial Day, which means I need to be the pictures the week before that, so final edits for that. First, like by the end of the first, May 9th, I think, so the 5th is a Monday, so we'll have all of that week, maybe even to the following Monday, do last edits.
Well,
So I can get it to the printer.
the second Thursday of Monday is the 8th when we'll meet.
May what? 8th. Okay,
So I would just say that's the deadline. I would say that's the
great,
deadline.
yeah.
Great.
For,
Is that too late, or is that?
no, that's good, and
Okay.
there might even be, like, wiggle room in that, but it's always good to set a date, it's not get things trickling in.
Memorial Day through.
Well, I'm considering extending it, because there's so many September things happening. Usually it's through August, through Labor Day, it's
Yeah.
usually Memorial Day to Labor Day, but so many organizations have moved their.
Do it till
events.
Halloween. Do it till Halloween.
Yeah, so, we'll see, as you see on the postcard, the font is getting smaller and smaller.
Right.
There's so many events on there, but we'll see how it works, but,
The ones that they're moving, will take up a different phase.
right.
They're going into September and have done it.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
some
so,
states will open up.
I think it's Friends of Music, does their summer concerts, but they're like the end of August into September, so it sort of leads into September. That really loves them.
I do.
Good.
So,
So we'll see how far we go, but we might at least dip into September, if not all the way to October.
Because then we can talk about the Harbor Festival. I'm surprised by how many people
still don't know what hours.
which is crazy, because.
I know people from out of
People,
town, I
but-
know, but like, really the plan hadn't realized it.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah. Yeah.
I would like to donate, the mojitos for the block party, and I will make them too.
You're the best, you're the best.
Hello?
Okay.
You have to get people in.
That's wonderful, thank you. Let's all think about that, the block parties, and how we can really,
We have to be real
Okay.
by next time, like, we have to have our ideas.
yeah.
Do you mind, I have less context on, so who are the vendors and kind of what is the distribution of like the arts council to other councils that might also attend there, or sort of what, if you wouldn't mind?
Sure.
I should know this.
So the block party, kind of in your mind, thinking of Holiday in the Depot, but in a form, whether there's a band here at Town Hall. So, music here, whole plaza is closed with food trucks and all the businesses are open. And then organizations set up tents on the lawn, doing sort of, promotional type things, educational, informative things. But it's really just sort of a fun time, for the kids, hopefully, weather. The days that, on the years that the weather was nice, is amazing. And then, some goes to the rain. Judy Black Park is usually pretty full. They, allow several different organizations to use their space.
They have a movie, is that right, too?
They usually end the night with a movie once it gets dark. And it goes all the way over to the pantry. And so we have been setting up over on that side, like the tightest block, in part because there's usually music here, so we don't want to interfere. And we've been, last time, it was Flavos, ASAP, like sort of an art kind of circle. And we're trying to get people to go over there a little bit more. I mean,
Somebody invested in a really nice ice cream, setup, so
Oh, yeah.
they brought people over there.
Is that what the real is?
Sotheby's always does a great setup. Sometimes, Ravis, probably, sometimes they do, depends. And Zoe always is open. Sometimes she comes out front or she's just open. That's where I was thinking, like, can we get a bigger tent or some kind of way to like really draw attention?
And it's the total family affair.
Yeah, definitely kid friendly. One of the, I know several years Montessori schools set up right in front and brought like their little trike and like things for the kids to play with and sidewalk chalk. I don't know if they said it last year, but that was always a big hit. So.
Yeah.
Do we have a space already assigned?
No, the WBA will assign a space, but we can request if we've got the specific needs. We can also work with a business in particular, to set up in front of their space, sort of coordinate. So we can kind of think about it, depending on what we want to do. Like, for example, the dancing, it was great when we sort of closed off the parking lot there, and a hard surface might be better than grass.
Yeah.
So then we couldn't rent a tent, probably, because of although sometimes they have the acres, I don't know. Yeah. So, something to think about. Pilates will not be there on their own because the dancers aren't there. They often set up a shadow screen and like let the kids participate with the shadows, which is really fun.
It's not anything like an alphabet thing with bodies or something.
Yeah, they've done some fun stuff.
Well, and also, if Columbus doesn't work out, we could also approach Norwich.
We could. We'll see if
I mean, I would love
they're
to,
around.
for it to work out, but, I mean, it's pressure and stress. Yeah.
So, I don't know how much they would do interactive, but just as a performance, like mini performance, that would be kind of cool. That'd be very cool. So, something to think about. Yeah,
And you mentioned the line dance as a potential kind of participatory draw to the sort of activity, so amplified sound is fine, as you mentioned, it's not gonna conflict with what's going on in the lawn, and.
yeah, if we're over there, yeah, we can do, yeah. And what Kirsten was saying is that her teaching staff that's not on the road,
Right.
and dancers, they love to, but they do it with the kids, they know, but we just haven't had a chance to talk.
And I think it's perfect, and I hope that it works out.
I
But also just keep your thinking caps on, because then we also have the Harvest Festival, and we also have Christmas. So anything interactive or fun or food or whatever, I mean, one thing that, our last departing counselor, Simon Holt was really a big musician, as you may know, and he was really interested in, when we got interested in the this last year, was like, oh, have somebody playing an instrument and have people responding by writing music, writing poetry, excuse me, or drawing a picture, like whatever the music inspires, and they can interact that way with it, like little tables or pencils and whatever. So I like that kind of thing where, and I find that when people get to have the opportunity to be creative themselves, when they don't usually have the opportunity to do so when they're dancing or whatever, I think it really makes a big difference. And it's fun, so.
Cool. All right, so we'll all think about that, and we'll try to make sure we touch base with Kirsten, just to see if that's even on the radar there.
So in our next meeting, I suggest that we firm up which way.
We have to confirm, right?
Yeah, the next meeting, yeah, it'll, agree.
So yeah, if you guys have a totally new idea also, just, I think we should, email off the thread and call or whatever, just so we can defend the decision.
Yeah, agreed.
If there's just throwing it out there as well, plans to come together and foster, and, happy to help out with like, even just like wayfinding, just finding a nice helpful use to draw people that way, sort of thing. Just something that makes a difference.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we usually all, try to be there as much as possible to facilitate whatever it is that's going on. So,
Will still be in our residency. Last year was, the weekend after or something.
last year, the Black Friday was early, it was the first Friday in June.
Okay, that's fine. Before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so. You know what you do,
Right.
That's all right, that's all right.
Do you want to, I mean, not that you have to, I was just curious, the beginning of your day, so.
Okay, for the 22nd. June.
Yeah.
I know the residency, but like, every night it's a little bit?
No,
Right, that's
we'll
what
have
I'm.
a handful, but yeah, we're still not sure.
Great, even if you know what was happening, if you like nail down.
Then you get a call, or-
Did we get?
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is like, to know, until we get closer, what it is. they
Nicole,
want
did
to
you
show.
finish?
Yeah.
So, and whether they want to be public or not, and we're committed to honoring that as part of the process. So what we would like to do is just to have people visit our website, because once, sometimes it's literally the week before, do we know?
Right.
What will.
Nicole is gonna be finished, and she's coming to be public.
Well, that, we'll wait for him to let me know. She and I have talked.
She's not,
Yeah.
That's the 22nd.
Yep,
Yeah.
29th to 22nd. So we will have public workshops as well, but you're all still. Because we wait until we learn who's joining us for the residency before we can actually plan what might be being offered. So the artist in residence will. So by design, we're a little late coming to
Okay.
a lot of this kind of promoting.
Trying to find a way to
Yeah.
promote that.
Great.
I'm so bummed I missed this last year, and by the way, just plan ahead to go to the Christmas event.
Yeah, we are definitely off with the, season of fundraisers, but our December, specifically for that. So it is definitely.
But it's super fun.
It is. We did have some of the weekenders who have places come to it, which was great, but it is definitely.
So I'm definitely
making sure I'm gonna go to your event.
Okay, thanks.
And you have an event Saturday.
Yes, Saturday and
And
Sunday,
Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
Could you say Saturday?
Yeah, Jiggy Black, yeah, Jiggy Black.
Okay, because we have a few more things on the agenda. Next up, the Steep Rock Photo Contest in honor of their 100th anniversary.
I love that.
So I spoke with Denise Arturi.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and they've already been kind of talking about it with their group, they're excited. The only thing, and that's what I wanted to check in with you guys, is they thought it would be really great if it culminated by their September 6th picnic, because then they can showcase at their picnic, like, even if, I was like, oh my gosh, it takes a long time to hang a whole show, I don't think we could do that in the tent over there, but we could maybe bring winners or a sampling and then have full exhibit here at Town Hall, and she thought that was a good idea.
Are they doing it in the Bruce room?
I'm assuming that that's where although now that they've got the camper open and the office is open and the pavilion.
They have power, they could have a digital, like a,
That's a good idea.
like a slideshow.
Oh, sure.
Somewhere.
Because I mean, I remember back to whatever, 18 months ago, when Natalie got really excited about it, and Natalie Dyer, she was excited about it being in Shrine, it was an exhibit in Shrine, like the one we did, in Town Hall, so that everybody can see it,
Yeah.
and it's up for a month, or whatever. So, I like this idea of a digital monitor dedicated to rotating through, and people, and, you know, just, we'll be excited more.
Right. Well, I think the idea of even if we had, like one display board with like four, you know, just to like draw people in to see the rest of the digital, but yeah, would love for it to be here. It was really nice.
We can do the same thing if they have a tent. At a steep rock with those hanging things that we can put.
Yeah, but do you remember how long it took us to hang all those?
Oh, we'll get somebody there.
You got involved here.
Yeah.
You're like,
Like a lot of energy.
Oh my gosh. This is the fact, it's been.
Now, I have a suggestion
Yeah.
to have a, to make it, the photography, like having somebody to, buy it for the, like an auction, a silent auction, and we donate the money to Steep Rock.
Yeah, well, then maybe they can do this then.
Well, you can suggest that.
Yeah.
So would the picture need to be framed?
My suggestion though, I mean, and I like your idea, you helped so much with the mounting, however, like, there's so much back energy that Michelle put in, and even if, not like you've done it once, but you know how to do it, it's still a lot,
Well,
and.
we can do one or two, and then have the other
Well,
one
just,
in the vault.
just one second, Lonzo, maybe we
Yeah.
do this kind of option, but just like, just one more logistical thing to manage. And my suggestion is that, like, last time, you may recall, maybe you don't, but like, we had one standard price. And then nobody got offended, and everybody's thing was the same, and I worry in a small town with, you know, all this participation with kids and professionals, whatever, just letting people buy what they wanna buy, and when you have this kind of auction, I'm not saying that art doesn't have like status and, you know, better and worse, whatever, but it was so nice, and the non-elitism of the last time that we did it, and everything was like, I think what was it, $100 and, or $50.
I think it was 50.
That's
Okay.
what the miners have done. Everything is the same size and shape, and it's all.
I think the Watas is too.
$150.
Well, you can, half of them are still sitting on the floor over there, they're all.
And then also, like, whatever the price was, 50 or 100, you have the option of it going to the artist, the artist has the option to totally surrender the fee to the Arts Council, which is a little nice bump for us, or split it. And I thought that was a really nice thing, and then nobody was
hurt or whatever, and not everything sold, but we didn't publicize what can sell, and a lot of these did sell. I mean, we had like, what, 75 or 100? 50, how many do we have, 50? It was like 15 per season, or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds
It was like
about
60, yeah, like 60.
something like that.
So I just feel like we're not the association where our, members are cool with something being $100, something being $35,000. I feel like we want to have participation without humiliation.
So I want, before we even get to the nitty gritty of the logistics, when Denise said September 6th, I kind of went, what? Because let's back that out. It's quick, right? Because it takes a couple weeks. I had to get them all developed and matted. And then time to hang, so that's at least a couple weeks turnaround there. And that's in August. And we need to run the contest, show, whatever. I mean, we didn't really have prizes. I had a few gift certificates, but like, I don't even know if we want to call it a.
But that's Steve Rock's job. They can promote it.
Well, we'll promote it. I'm just saying, we need to advertise it, give people time to take their pictures. They can also send in one favorite from before, but upload them. So there's a runway here.
Summer, like a
summer
time.
Yeah, that's okay.
Is that okay? Okay. I think we can do
Do
it.
you think we're crazy, Fran? You've done it.
Well,
You've done many rodeos.
No, no, I realize it's their picnic, but, I mean, a lot of people are just coming back and getting into whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that goes on that weekend. So is it designed to be exposed to as many people as possible, or is it in the family? So
Well, I think it will be a very special occasion for them because it's a 100th anniversary.
Yeah.
And people would like to have a photo. This time, not like what we did before, where it was just like,
Well,
it's an exhibition. So this has a purpose.
I agree, and I'm thinking that
Yeah,
it worked out really well with the Harvest Festival to be, maybe we just, shine a light on our prominent institutions
So I
and
wonder.
talk into Harvest, weekend. Harvest
Let me
Festival.
talk to Denise, because I did tell her, I was like, that's a quick turnaround, and in the summer, it's kind of hard to get things happening, people are kind of in summer mode. But maybe we can promote the contest at the picnic. And I've actually got some different pictures over there that I could create a board with.
There you go.
And say, like, we could start the promotion in the summer, but not close it until sometime after the picnic. And then run it in October the way we did last
Great
time.
I love that idea.
Here's
Yeah.
a question for you, when, before Washington ran this, and it was in the Four Seasons, it was over a whole
We did
year.
a whole year, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that go back to that, with me, like, we got so many, they were really wonderful submissions, but it took a year to get them.
Right, it did. I mean, I'm thinking, to your point, Abdo, it's the 100th anniversary, people will feel.
Yeah, members will be there, and they
And-
want to buy something.
And it's, Seabrook specific,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So whereas the other one was just sort of open,
yeah.
so it might
In the
motivate
members,
people,
yeah.
but I think the longer we run it, the better, right? Last time, we don't have to run it for a whole year, but
No.
as soon as we kind of figure out what we're gonna do, I would start promoting it, like, almost now, spring, summer, into fall, that's 3 seasons of potential pictures. Okay, I like that. We're all, okay, good. So then that gives us a little more time to think about sort of the details. I'll talk to Denise.
And also,
About that
I think
idea.
they would help us.
Oh, they'll definitely promote it, but they've been running events all year long. If you see the selectmen's email, they
Yeah,
have like every week, like 6 things. And they just did the camp house opening, they're doing big stuff.
They're doing stuff for, birthday.
I
Yes,
know.
they are. Yeah, there is something.
I know, well, and they're going to be set up with Judy Black's birthday, but yeah, I don't read all of
But the lectures, tour, trail day, like they're running stuff all year, and some more.
Are you doing anything for Earth Day, I mean?
I don't think so. So since Chris left, we have an interim director, and there's been some retrenchment. And, you know, we're kind of in the middle of that, so I don't think birthday is.
So, I called there last week, and somebody, the lady answered the telephone, she was taking care of it, what's her name?
Was that Lynn or Robin or Lynn?
Oh,
I don't know who.
she told she was in charge.
Oh, okay, that would be Lynn, McLean, yeah. She's
Because
our
I told her, I have this dream that I was weaving an Indian basket.
Ah,
And I walk up and I call her, I said,
oh, that's great.
are you teaching basket women? And she
Yeah.
said, we do that sometimes.
Uh-huh.
So I said, well, can you put me down, you know, let me know. Because I really want to do it.
Yeah.
All the others. You know.
That is awesome.
Joe, every single meeting you surprise me, and I love that about you.
Let's, before we move on from that, because maybe want to get on to the rest of the agenda and wrap before it gets too late. But I'm thinking about this, like, if we're gonna promote it as a contest again, even though we don't really have huge prizes. Last time we had the best of each season, and do we want, like, categories,
I don't
seasons?
think so.
No? Okay.
I think it's not a contest, it's just a.
It's- okay,
I'd say the Valentine's, just take,
Yeah.
just a Valentine's Steve Rock. Your favorite moments in Steve Rock?
Yeah, okay, let's think about then what we're gonna call it.
Yeah, that,
You
I
know,
like that.
photography.
But we call it love letters, I mean, or something, we can talk to Denise about it.
But it's Steve Rock
Like
and
we love the
it's photography
Yeah.
And I don't think we should like, you know, we're leaning on our local vendors, local businesses so much. Like, maybe they get a membership to Steve Rock or something like that, like if we wanna have like votes or something, I mean, I would prefer to be non-competitive.
I'm all for that, right? And we can just say upfront, we'll display. We do have to have a limit, right? Because
Yeah.
we don't, whether it's 50 or 75 that we produce.
Well, how about we say, it's like, okay, I don't know, whatever Alfred counselors want to volunteer and somebody from Steve Rock, and we just pick the ones that we think are the most Steve Rock we.
Yeah.
And no, it's like best variety. So this is like, you may recall, like, it was like things that were emblematic of Washington, and were actually some really beautiful artsy shots, but we're like, they could have been National Geographic anywhere. So we chose ones that really embodied or featured or, you know, centered on Washington.
It might be kind of neat to have people in Steve Rock. There wasn't a lot of people in those shots.
True, it was very landscape.
So if you think about the, you know, us utilizing it, our love of it, the what we get back from it as human beings, having Steve Rock right now.
that's a great idea.
What Steve Rock means.
What means.
There it is. Yeah.
Right.
So.
And that's the theme, and then whatever that interpretation is.
Yep.
I like that.
The top 50 or something like that. Because I like,
Yeah, what it means to me.
Our interaction with
yeah, that's what they're
You
gonna
could even encourage them
Well,
to say
I
something.
have about 10 already. myself, because I live on a stick rock, as you know that. So anytime I feel it's nice, I get my Canon and I run over there and I take. So, I love the combination of the light and the beauty, you know, and that, because, you know.
makes you not even miss Santa Barbara at all.
Yeah, like,
Helps in audio scenes, and then nobody's hurt, like, you can still say, like, you know, artistic and fabulous, but not on the scene.
yeah,
Right.
okay. We'll have a little time to
Well, take
think
the
about
whole
that.
memory of the steep rock. You know. And
That's part of the marketing, yeah.
And also we can market the one from a year ago.
I know, like, those are expired.
They don't have, okay, because we have that.
Do those as well, though.
Yeah.
I think that'll,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
I just want pictures of the river rushing through the rock.
But one thing that could also be cool is that I thought there was a little bit of a missed opportunity last time with titles. So like, maybe they send a picture with the title, and that's kind of fun, and there's
I
a
think
verbal and
we did,
visual.
yeah, I'll look
We
back
did
at our
a good job.
instructions last time.
No, maybe wrong, but this is.
So, just up a level of creativity, engagement with the image,
Okay,
kind of, see what's on the table.
all right, so I'm gonna talk to Denise and get this new time
Yeah.
approved.
Thank you.
And then we'll start working on the, like the flyer, the wording for the contest itself, so that we can, well, right. Submission, exhibition.
Thank you. We'll go down there.
For the exhibition, the submission of photos, like, right, we need to
Yeah.
word how we're gonna request those. So I'll start working on some stuff for our next meeting, because we wanna start,
Yeah.
we wanna get it out soon so that people can start submitting all spring, summer,
Right.
and into fall. Okay, so big item for our next meeting, and hopefully I will do stuff squared away for that. Let's go on and just recap real quick on some of our old business here. The art council event just last weekend. Holy cow.
It was really awesome.
Awesome.
I mean, okay, this is everything, anything to do with G Black, which is a wonderful idea. If you're streaming anything, don't stream, download it, that's it. No disrespect to anybody,
Today, just so we know.
Yeah. no matter what, it's not, you know, they have multiple channels, whatever, everybody's awesome and helpful and well intentioned, just download it, that's it.
Yeah.
But everything was awesome, Zoe showed up with awesome snacks, the farmers were there, it was so like, it felt so good because it's like on point to like, you know, the ecosystem of culture here, that the, well, also just like, you know, the farmers were there, that many of them have, you know, their stands there at the farmers market, and, so they were there all, you know, it was just so nice, and,
But if there were documentaries that were produced locally, so that, and
by local filmmakers.
by local filmmakers.
Mentored by our board members who, I mean, Helen Bartlett, as you may know, she's a lovely, fun, hilarious person, but also she is a, you know, prestigious, you know, accomplished filmmaker, her husband's won Oscars, and they have mentored people that are doing these films, and it's pretty great. So they're mini docs, and so we ran 6 films at 6 to 7 minutes each, or 3 to 5 to 7 minutes each, so it's like 35 minutes of programming. And, I talked to Zoe today, and, I think it's like, I don't know if it was gonna be exactly like farmers or whatever, but I feel like some food producers from this area who are connected to Judy Black, whatever, Laura was super excited about it. I keep on getting text messages today from people excited about it, so it really made an impact, and, the only criticism that I thought was a good one, this was kind of the first one that, and just for, I serve on the board of the Farmers Table. What was really great and generous about these other organizations helping support the Farmers Table is that the Farmers Table has been so small and it's all volunteer and blah, 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 that, you know, their success story every year prior to now, just to become a 501c3, has been just filling their gala so they can make the money, the little pot, they can give it away. And so because of that, and because they don't have much bandwidth to do other events, this is because other organizations in town, this is also the synergy that we hope to provide. I'm not trying to talk only about the Farm Table, but an opportunity here. We could do a free event that could publicize, I think, something that really influences the character of our area, of, you know, farmland and what farmers are going through. And as you all know, it's not a political issue, it's just a factual financial issue, that there are interruptions now of typical federal supply and support of farmers. This is something we get to talk about, and our landscapes will change if that changes. So that was super exciting, and,
I also thought that what was so important, I don't know, to me especially, because, we had a sugarcane plantation, and I used to, after school in the city, I was packed already to go to the plantation. Get up at 5 in the morning, now I go to bed at 5 in the morning, but I used to get up.
Actually, he was the only nightlife in Washington. I love the idea that my grandmother knew you in Cuba, that she was in Havana.
Oh,
At the time,
wow.
yeah.
So it was this kind of, one of the presenters, she was saying something that was kind of touching. She said, you know, people come and grab an apple, but they don't realize how much work it takes to take care of that plant.
Yeah.
And to produce.
For
that apple.
years, yeah. For that
Yeah.
year.
And that is important, and I was happy that they were doing that with the youth.
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
That they have groups, you know, seeing where the food is coming from. Because we're separating so much as a result of technology. That, you know, you get your things delivered in a helicopter and thrown in your backyard.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just like, so I was like, oh my God, when I still Cuba, you know, we don't have the farmers there.
I love the cultural
It
connection.
was not a community event.
Yeah.
It was like the earth, the food, and the air, you know.
Well, and this is, as you two know, in other cities, restaurants usually have critiques where the fancy restaurants are open to the hoi polloi to try them out. Because we are, you know, 12 restaurants with a pizza parlor and a, you know, Mayflower, our theme is the arts. So, we try, you know, with this, polyglot of organizations supporting this event.
I love being called that.
We got, you know, Michelle was wearing her multiple hats and Zoe wearing her multiple hats. You know, we had 6 organizations plus every farmer. I think pretty much every farmer did post it to social media, and, you know, just as a thing you probably all know, since you all are produced events all the time, it takes like, what, I think it's like, you know, you're lucky to get 1% of people showing up, and I think we had around 50 people showing up. So because of everybody, promoting, we got 50 people showing up. And,
It was a really nice crowd, and it was a mix. You know, because it was promoted through the Selectmen's Unit, because it was Restaurant Week, sponsored by the Arts Council, documentaries produced by Farmers Table, but in an art space, it was just a nice mix of people, which was really great.
and also, just one last little thing I want to add is that, like, extending our season. Historically, the Judy Black, and this sort of shifted last year we did an event for Restaurant Week, and they usually think their season starting with their farmers market on Memorial Day weekend. They cobbled together a show with local Chicago, 8 art people. This year they planned ahead, and they had a beautiful show of really awesome 2 artists, which were kind of earthy and awesome, and it kind of just perfectly merged with the farmers. And not only think of the art, it was just so great to have this marriage happen. So I really do feel that our conversations, although it seems like, why are we showing up? And it was really
Well, and Hotel was really wanting to build out what happens during Restaurant Week too. She's really keen on that, and that was just, this is our 2nd year doing it. These 2 exciting women spearheaded,
Well,
and it made a huge difference.
The Smithy, jumped on board too, and had Nancy Lazar, a local artist, did an opening for her last week. I went to that, as well. There was a nice turnout for that, and they did it because of Restaurant Week, so that was,
Yeah.
really
And I saw
good.
people there.
Yeah.
Some was there, and so like, you know, global warming is part of it, but also like traditionally people have thought of like October through April as mud season, and now we're pushing it back, and it's made a huge impact. And last year, it was like a certain restaurants had 40%, but the average was like 22 to 25% increase, and that just means like maybe 5 to 10 more people going to one restaurant one night because it's a small town. So
Josh said it was great, and GW, it was really good. Very that fun last year.
Oh, last year, yeah.
last Friday,
I was just talking to Zoe, and we'll see, this year, the weather has been so horrible.
Yeah.
I haven't felt quite the buzz. I don't know if it's because it's the second year and so the novelty isn't there. Zoe said she's seen more traffic, but not quite what we saw last year. But we have the Gilmore Girls Fest coming in this weekend, so hopefully it'll kind of bump all that up. So we'll see. We'll see if those people come. It's supposed to rain.
The weekend.
And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Right?
Cold.
Two weekends of solid rain and cold, like, so it's a bummer that happens for our restaurant week, but the event that we sponsored went really well.
And also, it just so happened, Michelle, I know a lot better than you. We both happened to be at the Owl last Friday,
Oh,
and it wasn't the most awesome night, and it was packed. And we both did the pre-peak, which was, $50, for 3 courses, which is a good deal there.
And
And it was awesome. And, it's still going through Sunday, so please go.
Yeah, we're doing one night,
Where are you gonna go?
we're the GW and we did the bar, that's usually.
That's great.
Super.
That's wonderful.
Earlier, off being path, so
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to bring a friend to GW tomorrow night.
All good. All right.
Are you going to be there tomorrow night?
not tomorrow night.
Right.
tomorrow night is in person.
All right, well, some good stuff. We'll do a recap after it closes, like we're in the middle of it, so we'll recap and
So
talk about it.
before I forget,
Yeah.
for the block party, also I can get some artists to it depends what theme you want to do. That's why I need to know, to display the art, like a museum kind of thing,
For the block party?
for the block party on the tent, make it really interesting. So we have to decide what thing we want to do.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's hold that and see where we are.
And let me know the declaration,
Let me,
politics, or,
well, let me nail down the dancing thing with Kirsten. And if
Okay.
that's not happening, then we're gonna have to really put on our.
Okay. yeah, and also the tent, if we can get.
Right,
video.
yeah,
Boundary, we don't have to have it.
I know, but,
You
well,
took
let's.
a church where we're going to
Yeah, no, we are, that's fine, it's just that art and if it rains, those are small things, like, let's talk about that, like, come on, I got.
Do you have any?
It seems like there's any really great art being displayed in any of your restaurants that we should go peek at. I just wanted, is there any visual art participation in that?
You didn't mention it, the hen's not town.
Oh, excuse me, I missed it.
Shoot, I did so many events last weekend.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of openings, actually. There was one at I think, and I think there's gonna be another one at Judy Blatt. There was art going on everywhere.
And Fran and Liz Page and Ellen have done this incredible job on a short timeline, or Audra, excuse me. So, Fabulous Four, Fab Four, have, done this poetry month.
Right.
Out of nowhere, and it's awesome, and if you go to all of our stores, you'll see like cute little,
I was just thinking that, oh, dear Elizabeth would have been incredible for poetry month.
well,
I know, because it
Well,
was
it's
about
not
just the first. I know.
and also, Fran, like, huge kudos, because I was in New York and all my media friends were blabbing about how awesome and what a big deal it was to get Bette Midler and Greg Carter, and I'm like, wow, my local bookstore in town, Greg Carter.
That's awesome, people also.
Yeah.
You know, and so Saturday night, 26th,
Lisa today is introduced, is great going.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
I read an excerpt with the really good. I.
Lisa Teo?
No, no,
It's
no.
great, Carter. It's all about, it is.
Smoke silver and.
Like,
I'm
the
gonna say, on it.
I am devastated that I'm a job that we went to, but I'm saying everybody has to. Or you don't need it. It's a coup of the coup.
Well, I mean, yes and no, I mean, because of who he is, yes, but.
Well, Lisa's also awesome. I mean,
Well,
it's
right,
great.
I mean, he interviewed Lisa for her last book, and, I asked Lisa if she would interview him for this book.
And it's amazing what artists we have, we live in it, right?
But also that, like, she's a living encyclopedia of literary art, so like.
Oh, yes, yes.
Trying to cross state lines to go to, since these are very challenging.
But let's get back to poetry, because it really is very exciting. I mean, it was, Liz Page was the one who really,
Got excited
got
about the
excited
girl.
about this originally. She had seen an article in Yankee Magazine about Montpelier, Vermont, that does this, and has been doing it for a long time. In Montpelier, it's original poetry, and we knew that we couldn't possibly pull that off this year. So we decided that we would, just have people submit George, businesses submit poems. And somebody said to me yesterday, what a great thing to have, poems in the windows of hardware stores. Times Park has one, and they were so excited about selecting it and putting it up. And we hope that next year it will be original poetry. And, Sandra Max did a great job with the logo and
Actually,
yeah,
out there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And there are various events going on.
Oh, yeah.
Ray post on social media, she basically said, here's a picture of the poem, what she ordered from Restaurant Week,
Right.
and what, who she was meeting. It was like, it was great, like,
Trip tacos and,
Perfect, great. So check out downstairs, the, outside, bulletin board is where I have all the poems that were from town hall. Picked one for economic development. Actually, there's a really moving one that was written by a new Habitat resident. So on behalf of the Housing Commission. That was very cool. So anyway, so ours are there, and the Arts Council picked one. Is it displayed?
Yeah, I mean, it has Karen Stokes' name on it.
Okay,
Karen selected, I think, a perfect vibe.
but it's, where is it up? Up there?
It is, but I don't know. I can't tell you where.
Okay, I'm glad, we all voted on it, and, I'm glad it's up there.
But hopefully we're gonna have a couple of sunny days and just wander around town and make it fun. And then different things are going on. Like,
Yeah, if you go to Port Washington, and I will announce you soon, there's all the details, like, for example, Shakespeare is going to do something at the, but if you go to the, like, poetry month thing, you will see, like, all of the lines.
and they're just beginning now.
Yeah.
So good stuff. I mean.
And what's really ironic is that, as we chose the logo, there was no question about that particular logo, but it's a pink typewriter. And Nancy Miller, who many of you know, who's a Washington resident and a poet, but she has a poem called The Pink Typewriter. And I don't know where it's hanging.
I grabbed it.
Did you grab it?
So it's in front of town hall.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had two spaces, and I went in and I was talking to Ellen, and she said, well, I have three that aren't hanging, and I'm just going.
And the credit for the posters themselves, goes to Audra. And she did it on.
At the library.
And, and the buttons.
And the button.
software.
Yeah, and the button. Yep.
So it's a beginning, but I think it's a very good beginning, and we're looking forward.
Yeah, so I think they need to see the typewriter isn't bigger.
You do our bottom.
Pretty good, poetry.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Oh, I think
About, because there's so much detail. And you know, they do all the people too.
To April 1st to,
Good. All right, we have a lot, I have a lot of notes that I need to do here.
Okay.
A lot of good stuff.
And she's a superhero, please help me.
I just want to let you all know, I'm going on vacation. I'll be away the last 2 weeks of April.
What?
I know. I know. I always schedule my
We back
vacation
for
for
our
the end of the month because I have so many things the first 2 weeks of the month. So it's just too hard to miss any of those. So I always schedule vacations.
So where you going?
I'm going to Spain and Portugal.
Oh. Two flavors, in my bucket list.
Yes, yeah. We're flying into Madrid and out of Lisbon.
It's
We've got.
everybody's going to, and moving to.
I hear that, I hear that, we're just going through that.
Right,
Short
we're
term.
moving it.
Wow, so, I will be not, sending to me, but anyway, you won't hear back from me if you email me during those 2 weeks, and I'm gonna do the best I can. It's amazing, because we're gonna meet, maybe, yeah, yeah. So I have a week, and then I'm gone, and then I get back and we meet, so we'll see how far I get on. I will do my best. Oh, I don't. You all know me, I don't even answer emails all the time. Like, when I shut down, I shut down. But we do need to nail down Kristen and, they see her, talk to her, I know they're all away, ready to spring break.
Well, they're, those folks in the honor golf has the challenge out too. So yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Phoebe.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Brandon Carter.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was gonna get all of those great things happening. And the article was with you. Hey, all right, so we're adjourned. That was a very informal adjournment.